Last week on Gleeboot, there was a Glee wedding where, whether they wanted it or not, Glee was being their wedding band. And that's what you missed on Gleeboot.
Ta-da!
Yay!
I'm still not sure if that's what was last week. We had a bit of a hiatus, and it's been a while.
Gleeboot.
So, hi, welcome back to Gleeboot, the show where we get drunk, unpack the trauma of Glee, and talk about rebooting it. I'm Cullen.
Allyssa, and we have some special guests, which I'm going to introduce because I know them. Sarah and Ellen, friends from school.
To be fair, Cullen also knows us.
Yes, okay, fine, but you were my friends first.
Hannah will not be joining us this week. She is not feeling well.
Bit under the weather.
Yeah.
Hey guys, it's Hannah. Just want to let you know, I just had like a cold, wasn't feeling good, so I am A-okay. All right, back to the show.
But we are so excited to have Sarah and Ellen on here. We've been looking forward to having them on the show for a while now.
Yes, they used to live fairly near us and just recently moved, so this is very, very remote. Okay, now Sarah talk and then Ellen talk because we have to differentiate your voices.
This is Sarah. Yeah.
And this one's Ellen.
Well done. Congratulations.
We're professional.
We all know what you sound like.
Yep. They're never going to get anything confused.
So, what are y'all drinking today?
Well, I'm drinking soft red wine straight out of the bottle.
Nice.
Ooh.
I'm pretty sure that's what I was drinking while we were watching the show as well. Maybe not straight out of the bottle, but
Yeah. I'm just drinking a Yingling beer.
Love Yingling. Very good. So glad that it escaped the East Coast to the rest of the continent.
Right?
Well, country. I'm not
Finally.
actually sure it's not the rest of the continent yet. Country.
you never know. I might be a fan of Yingling in Canada. What are you guys drinking?
We are drinking the birthday wine that you got me.
Ooh.
So Sarah and Ellen got me some wine for my birthday, and oh boy, guys, did we learn some stuff about wine today. Because I opened this last week in preparation to do our episode then. And then drank some and was like, it's red wine. We don't have to put it in the fridge. That's not true. If you open red wine, for all of our listeners out there who don't know this, put it in the fridge, okay? And apparently, red wine only keeps about 3 to 5 days after you open it anyway. So you have to drink it really fast.
So you're but you're still drinking it?
Yeah.
I feel very bad about this because it's our fault that you didn't drink it when you opened it.
Well, I still drank a glass then, and it was very good then. It is slightly more sour right now.
Yeah.
But that's about it. It did taste better last week, Cullen.
It still tastes good.
But for listeners out there, I'm an idiot and should have looked it up on Google before now.
I'm pretty sure we have also had several bottles of red wine that have just sat on a counter and we drank them later. So you're not alone.
Yeah. So, Sarah and Ellen, tell us a bit about your relationship with the pop culture phenomenon that is Glee.
You can go first, Sarah.
Oh boy. My relationship with Glee is about the content you would find on Tumblr and this episode and some songs. So I'm very well qualified for this this podcast. I know a lot about Blaine and Kurt, and I'm glad that they were in this episode.
I definitely watched more Glee. I watched like 3 or 4 seasons, but it feels like forever ago when I watched them. I mean, I thought it was decent then. I I don't know. I liked it, but I also wasn't like, well, this is the best show ever. It was nice. And I mostly stuck with it because of gay people.
That seems to be like a pretty large consensus.
Yeah. I was like, I mean, I don't really see this anywhere else at this time, so I guess I'll keep trying to like it as it kept going.
Yeah.
No, I was just gonna say, I very much enjoy Brittany. She was probably my favorite character. It still is.
Brittany is one of my favorites too. And this was a really fun episode. There was a lot going on, a lot of characters.
Oh.
But I really enjoyed it. But Ellen had a phrase that she said earlier when we were talking about it. What was it? Like being the longest? I think you said it was like the longest 40 minutes of your life.
I did say that. I did say it was the longest 40 minutes of my life because it seemed like there was so much happening. It just kept going. I was like, how much can you fit? A lot. Answered a lot.
Yeah, I have the synopsis pulled up because I can't remember all of the plot lines in this episode.
Oh my goodness, I watched this episode that we're going to talk about 1 week ago, so we're going to see what my memory does. It's going to be very interesting. I distinctly remember there not being very much, like, super offensive things that happened.
Yeah, I would say that's true.
So, I mean, that's a good thing, I suppose. Cheers to that.
Yeah.
I think the most offensive thing that happens, as I have gathered from your podcast and my limited knowledge, is just Schuster being awful and being inappropriate around his students.
I feel like when they were all, when Rachel came in with the tape on her mouth, I feel like somebody at that point said something really mean to one of the other students, but I don't remember what it was.
We'll get there.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
So lately we've been playing a new game called Glee Bingo. We made a bingo sheet and with some different things that often happen in Glee episodes. And I believe you guys got bingo?
Yes, we did. So, what do we win?
Satisfaction.
That's not enough.
Well, that's what we got.
Yes, we got the top row.
The top row. Okay,
Yes.
so that is...
Tina in the background covering an 80s song. Will doesn't stop them from doing something offensive. They sing a song from a musical, and Brittany says something dumb.
All peak Glee moments.
Yes.
We were close to getting a second one.
Sarah was closer. I didn't remember.
I remember Finn saying something dumb. Ellen did not remember that, but I couldn't remember if they covered a song that was inappropriate for teens.
Yeah, I don't think they did. Because I have Finn saying something dumb on mine, but I didn't cross they cover a song that isn't appropriate for teens.
Yeah, I think that one was okay this time.
Yeah, I think it was Finn's first line was a moment where we were watching it with our roommates as well, and all of us were just, oh God, at like the first thing that Finn said, but I don't remember what it is. This is, great content. They probably have the script posted somewhere. We could look it up, right?
Oh, Lord. Do we want to? Well, the interesting thing is on our bingo, we in fact did not cross off Will doesn't stop them from saying something offensive.
I think we're deadened to what is considered offensive.
Oh, yeah. I think we've been watching this show too much because I was thinking about it and I was like, yeah, they say a ton of offensive stuff in front of Will. And just because he stopped them from saying 2 of the 3 doesn't mean he stopped the 3rd.
Right.
So we just are kind of like, oh my gosh, Will stopped them? Okay. Wow.
I think your point of saying you've been desensitized is very true. I think we, going into this, had a very low bar, and the fact that he just didn't stop them from making fun of each other during class is that's a bad teacher. He just let them rant and make fun of each other for a good minute and a half
until he did finally be like, stop, but it was like after they had already said
it was after everybody had already insulted each other's like intelligence. So And then he told everybody that you can't do what you normally do anymore. So that was fun.
Yeah, Will is just a stand-up teacher.
Oh boy.
We should all aspire to be like Will Schuester. Please no.
How dare you?
He sucks. So, This week we're talking about the episode Special Education, which I think is called Special Education because they get an education in being special.
What? No, we were discussing this, and the minute that I wrote down the title, which was not on my notes because I never take notes, I don't remember what I was doing. I had no idea why it was called that.
I was also going to say, I don't know why the episode is called that, but I guess that, like, everybody's important and everyone's special for a reason is a good point, but it's a very bad title.
Yeah, especially since you equate special education with, like, something completely different.
Yeah, very misleading, and maybe that's the thing. Maybe that's why Will's offensive, is that he would have named the episode that.
That makes sense.
So the episode opens with Will. We're going to talk about the sectional's main plotline first, and then we're going to get into, I have a Kurt storyline and then the Rachel Finn storyline. And I'm putting the Artie Tina storyline in with sectionals, as well as the Puck storyline.
Okay.
All right, so the episode opens with Will offering Emma tickets to go see the New Directions perform at sectionals. And he's like, oh, these are really hard to come by. Scalpers are getting $5. Ha ha ha. And Emma's like, oh, I'd love to go. And he's like, I've got this killer set list planned, and she nails it to a T of exactly what he's going to do. She's like, you're going to have Finn and Rachel sing a ballad. They'll sing a classic rock song. Mercedes will belt the last note. And he's like, what?
Surprise, surprise. Will's doing a bad job at his job.
She calls back to the time when he forced them to perform Rocky Horror just so he could get with Emma. And he's like, and Emma's like, I learned how talented they all are. And like, you have some great dancers and singers, and you need to spotlight them instead of just spotlighting the same few people. And he's like, oh, and she's like, I've said too much. And he's like, no, you said enough. And I'm like, Emma, don't apologize for laying down truth.
I don't understand why she still talks to that man. I'm not even gonna say his name.
I don't understand it at all.
So then we cut to the choir room where he's like, let's talk about sectionals. And Rachel is all like, I've decided what solo I'm going to sing. And he's like, just a minute. We want to focus on dancing because the other choirs are stool choirs. They don't do a lot of choreography. So Mike and Brittany are going to hit special like featured dance moves. And then he's like, and we're also going to have somebody else sing a ballad. And Rachel's like, what? And he's like, we're going to have Finn, we're going to have Sam and Quinn, who won our duets competition. And she's like, Ken and Barbie? And she's like, Finn, do something. And he's like, you don't pull out your star quarterback at the beginning of the game.
That was the line. That was the line that made me want to make me crawl out of my skin. That was it. I'm glad you wrote it down.
Yeah, it was pretty dumb. And Tina's like, well, you are the star quarterback, so it's easy for you to say. And Quinn is like, Rachel, every time you open your mouth, I just want to punch you. Yeah, and Santana is all like, Finn is such a hypocrite. And Rachel says, I don't think you even know what that word means. And she's like, it means your boyfriend is full of crap, Hobbit. I can't believe I remember that line so distinctly. And she reveals that she and Finn had sex last year. And it's scandalous because everyone knows except Rachel.
Yep. Because Finn lied to Rachel.
Because, yeah, they lied about it too. First, they both lied about it to each other. Then she came clean with that she didn't have sex with Jesse. And Finn decided to not come clean that he did have sex with Santana. Yeah. So Rachel is flabbergasted. That's basically this scene. They're gonna do things differently in sectionals. Will tells them to finally be quiet, but not until they've roasted each other.
Yeah, he eventually does like stand up to these children and tell them that they're doing a bad thing, but not at the correct moment.
No, you shouldn't wait for every single student to insult each other before you go, hey guys, let's not.
Yeah.
Not a good plan.
Well, I mean, I have this theory that he hates teaching so much, but it's literally the only thing he, quote unquote, knows how to do. So this is like his entertainment.
It's a decent theory.
Yeah, but
I still think he should be a wedding singer.
Oh, that
he was
would be
born
good.
to be a wedding singer.
Yeah, that would be a really good profession.
Call back to last week.
Yeah, so he enlists Puck to get, for whatever reason, to be Glee ambassador and to get an extra performer to replace Kurt. And Puck he starts talking about Bruce Springsteen to the men's locker room and the football team about trying to get them to join Glee. And he mentions that he's mad at Karofsky, who threatened Kurt. But then the football team turns on him anyway, and they lock him in a porta potty.
That was such a confusing scene for me. Just that, first of all, Shu thought Puck would be the person to convince the rest of the football team. Why? Because he's your only criminal, so you have to convince the other criminals? I don't understand.
Why wouldn't he ask Quinn, who's the head cheerleader, to get like another cheerleader on the team?
Yeah, why the football team? Is it because they lost a guy? Because Kurt's a guy? Even though he technically sings in a falsetto, so they might want someone who could be in that range.
But if you asked a cheerleader or another female character to join, we wouldn't have that awesome scene of a bunch of bros beating up someone in a locker room, because that happened in high school all the time, right? Like, that's like an iconic scene that definitely happened.
We just hive mind. We just swarm. We lose all sense of self-identity, and we're like, we hate Glee Club, and we beat people up, and we lock them in porta potties.
Right. What is this we?
Men.
Oh, okay. Men. Yeah. Like, at what point were you ever in a locker in high school, Cullen? Because you didn't have lockers. You were homeschooled.
I was homeschooled. Soccer team did not have a locker. We just sat on a bench.
Did you still hive mind?
Yeah. When someone asked us to join Glee Club, we did. Go crazy.
Good.
Yeah.
Good to know.
Yeah,
one thing I didn't know about men.
It was a very confusing scene, seeing as I am not a man and I have not been part of this hive mind. But is Puck a jock, or is he just...
Yeah, he is.
Okay.
I mean, he is a hooligan, if that's what you're about to say.
He's a hooligan jock, and he has no family to go home to that wouldn't have looked for him after he didn't come home from school?
Well, he has a family. I don't know how much they care about him.
I don't think they do.
No idea.
Oh, that's sad.
I don't think we have met them.
We have. We met his mom and sister when they were watching Schindler's List.
Oh, we saw them watching Schindler's List. Yeah.
Just gonna wait for that ice cream truck.
Go get some ice cream.
I freaking hate the ice cream truck that drives down a road because it sounds so creepy. First of all, I hate ice cream trucks. But when they're going like faster than 15 miles an hour, the song that they play sounds real warped and like a horror movie. Very, very bad.
Yeah. Speaking of horror, Puck is locked in a porta potty for 24 hours.
Yes. A full 24 hours. Which, is he the one that put Artie in the porta potty?
Yeah.
Yeah, so this is...
karma.
Very much some karma happening. But, Sarah, you were the one that was talking about, like, his family not noticing he was gone, right?
Yeah, well, his family, or, anybody, like Schuster, who sent him off to go talk to the team, nobody looked for him. Like, that's real sad.
Yeah, he's not a well-liked character in and out of the show. So we've discussed how we would change him or just take him out. I personally would want to change his character to make it somewhat less idiotic and like such a terrible person. But he doesn't have anyone.
Yeah, so he's just stuck in there until Lauren Zizes, who's appeared in a few episodes as a background player, rescues him and agrees to be in Glee Club if he gets her a carton of Cadbury eggs and 7 minutes in heaven. And so we cut to the Glee Club, and Santana is like, where's Puck? He's supposed to get me a churro. And Puck shows up with Lauren and is like, I was trapped in porta potty for 24 hours, and Lauren saved me and rocked my world.
Which I just want to point out, this was the most uncomfortable I have felt in this episode.
It was rough.
Yeah, I was just like, first of all, he doesn't look like, after being stuck in a porta potty for 24 hours, he hasn't changed his clothes or taken a shower or anything.
Disease,
sickness, disgustingness, and this Lauren, is that her character name?
Lauren, yeah.
She had 7 minutes in heaven with Puck in this deplorable state. And he enjoyed it. And I was very, very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and then he just walked in and said it in front of his whole class and teacher.
And teacher.
Yes, that tends to happen a lot in Glee.
I forget.
Yeah. And so Rachel walks in and she has, because before this, everyone's talking about how they're like, if the Warblers win, it's because we gave them Kurt. We shouldn't even cheer. And Brittany's like, we should throw possums at them.
Possums?
Yeah.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, it's just like a throwaway line.
Mm-hmm.
But why? Why throw possums at them?
Why does Brittany...
But usually Brittany's idiocy comes from some sort of misunderstanding. No? Nothing?
No.
All right,
she just
cool.
wanted to throw some possums. Yeah, and then Mercedes is like, if we lose, it's because we're light on Mercedes this year. And Rachel walks in with tape on her mouth, and she has a mouse covered in tape. So she has tape on her mouth. And he's like, Rachel, what are you doing? And she unpeels it. Is all like, I'm being silenced in this club, and therefore my voice will be silenced. And before she even fully puts it back on, she's like, I'm clearly not appreciated in this club. Like, she just won't stop talking.
Yep.
She absolutely has, like, no self-control. If you're gonna be silent, you gotta be silent. Sarah and Ellen know about this. I was silent for an entire day in college. Self-control. You need it.
Yep.
Yeah, we needed it on both sides as your interpreter.
Was that the day that I fake slapped you?
No, that was a different day. We did a bunch of shenanigans in that cafeteria thing.
We did. But I remember fake slapping you and walking around all day not speaking to anyone. And you had to speak to people for me. It was hilarious. I've always been hilarious. You're welcome, world.
She says in deadpan.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rachel doesn't have that self-control.
It's very on brand. That is something that Glee does well, is their characters may be subpar in some cases, but at least they kind of stay true to their terrible character.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, eventually some of them get some evolution. Not all of them, but...
No spoilers. I'm still waiting on that evolution there.
I won't tell you who. Don't worry.
Okay.
I hope it's Will.
That wine there, Cullen.
It burns. Yeah, Rachel is very consistent. She's the lesson learning machine, but she doesn't always remember that lesson.
Yeah, that's why I was
saying
mark it off on bingo, because it seemed like she realized a lesson, but I don't think she learned it.
I feel like once she learns it, she immediately forgets it. Because you can learn something and then forget it. That's definitely possible.
I guess that's fair.
Meanwhile, Brittany is sulking in like a science classroom, just like hiding in a corner, and Artie finds her, is like, I've been looking for you. She's just sitting there, face in the corner. She's like, I'm too scared, I'm too nervous, I'm gonna let the team down. I've stayed here since second period, and I really have to pee.
Right, because she's paralyzed with fear because she's supposed to be doing the choreography for sectionals. Yes, with Mike.
With Mike, yeah. And Artie is like, oh, well, if you can't compete, then how am I supposed to give you this magic comb that you comb your hair with it and you can't lose? And you'll do this for the both of us. And it's like, I know. She's like, really? And he's like, yeah, I know this to be true. She's like, just like I know the cricket that reads to me at night is stealing my jewelry.
Oh my goodness.
I did not catch that line. That's lovely.
Brittany, I don't even know what it means.
Oh my
Brittany
goodness.
is the best.
She's amazing. But I cannot believe that Artie Felixed her. What is the other half of Felix? I forgot. Felix something in Harry Potter. Come on.
Felix Felices?
Anyone? Yes, he Felix Felices her.
Yes.
I like Harry Potter. Not a super fan, but it's good.
It's good. Hot take.
Get ready for all those
That's
hate
more like
comments.
it's like a lukewarm take, Cullen. Let's be real.
Harry Potter? Pretty good. Yeah, he Felix Felices her, whatever that means.
Wait, you haven't read them, have you?
No, so...
Did you watch the movies?
I saw the first and the last one.
Oh, okay.
Have you seen
I know how
Space
it begins
Jam?
and how it ends. I've seen Space Jam.
So you know when he gives a Mike special sauce or juice or whatever it is, and they're like, give us more, and he's like, it was just water. The power was in you the whole time. It's one of those moments.
Ah.
Yes.
The classic Space Jam.
Mike's special juice. We just watched Space Jam for the first time, like a couple weeks ago, so it's fresh in the noggin.
It is a classic of our generation.
I don't remember Space Jam.
That's not really saying much, Alyssa.
That is correct.
So, Tina and Tina approaches Artie and dressed as like a zombie cheerleader in like all black, and is like, did you notice that like Mike and Brittany are spending so much time together? I kissed him and he tasted like lip smackers, which Brittany uses. And Artie's like, Brittany loves to share her lip smackers. And she's like, focus, Artie, like they're cheating on us. He's a football player. She's the cheerleader. It was only a matter of time. And so Artie tries to approach Brittany to hang out, and she's all like sketchy and all like, no, I have to practice with Mike. I'm sorry, I can't talk right now, and basically runs away.
Tina kind of went off the deep end on this one. Do they know? They know that they're rehearsing together, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. A little tiny bit off the deep end.
Yeah. It definitely was like kind of out of the blue.
Mm-hmm. And it felt like, I don't know, I feel like Tina's pretty down to earth. I don't think that she would jump to that conclusion.
I mean, it's interesting. I feel like Tina does an array of things throughout Glee where sometimes she seems really reasonable, and other times it's like, what is going on in your brain, Tina?
That's a good way to describe Tina.
That is true. Like when she dressed up as a vampire to scare the principal. That was definitely also like off the deep end, but in a good way. A way that I enjoyed and appreciated.
I'd love to see Tina's closet.
Oh my god.
Like
yes. Yes, please.
It's just a lot going on in there.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think she kept her Lady Gaga costume?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
She wears it on lazy Sundays.
Yes.
So now Tina and Artie think Mike and Brittany are cheating on them. And so they're going to sectionals, and it's a fall scene of them all kind of slumping onto the bus. And Emma comes up to Will and is like, I've decided that, Carl doesn't want me spending time with you after you tried to seduce me by doing Rocky Horror.
Oh, big surprise.
So she's like, can we, I can't do it. Like, here's a ticket. And Will's like, I guess we'll miss our good luck charm. He says that she looks great. And Rachel's like, Mr. Schuster, not that I care, but if we don't leave now, we're going to miss the competition. And so he slumps back, tail between his legs. His plot to win Emma over with his kids singing again did not work.
Oh.
Well, don't forget that
surprise.
Emma still kissed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, on the cheek, which, I don't know, I felt actually, like, sort of proud of her. Not because she kissed him, but, like, how do I say this? Emotionally, no, that was not a great idea. But physically, she's come a long way. Like, she would never have done that in the first season.
This is true.
Because she is, like, the most humongous germaphobe.
Yeah.
So I feel like physically, sure, that was good steps forward for her. But she's also kind of a toddler when putting physical actions together with emotional reactions. She has no idea how anything fits together because she's so new to it.
This is true. I forgot about that.
So they're at sectionals in the green room. They're all like yelling at each other. Rachel and Finn are yelling about when Finn slept with Santana, which we'll get to. Brittany admits to adultery when Artie accuses her of adultery, which is great.
My initial reaction was, what does Brittany think adultery is? Because I knew she had to get it wrong. Like, I knew she just didn't know what it was.
And Quinn is scared to go on stage because she thinks, because last time she was on stage, she went into labor.
Which, I mean, fair.
Very fair. And Tina is mad at Mike, and so they're all like, Rachel, Artie, and Tina are like, we're not going on. And Will is like, I'm ashamed of you guys. I know you don't all like each other, but last year you had no set list. You are all in this together. Where's your team spirit? Like, go out there and perform together. So he rallies them. They go out there and they perform, or they're getting ready to perform. And Artie says to Brittany, like, how could you cheat on me? And she's like, why did I cheat on you? And she's like, you admitted it earlier. And when I accused you of adultery, she's like, adultery doesn't mean cheating. He's like, yes, it does. She's like, I thought it meant being stupid, like being adult.
A space DOLT, not adult as in grown up. Adult.
Yeah.
Which is actually kind of a confusing line if you don't have the subtitles on.
That's true. I don't think I actually understood what she said either. I thought she said adult, not adult.
Yeah,
that makes more sense.
Also, the fact that she knows what the definition of adult is and not adultery.
Well, somebody's probably called her it before.
Well, I guess that's fair.
I wonder if she knew what it was and then had to ask someone.
I love this line. It is one of my favorite lines in television history. I just love it. And because Artie then is all like, because she admits to losing his magic comb at motocross practice. He's like, oh no, it's just a comb I found on the floor and was going to throw it in the trash. And she's like, and you let me comb my hair with it?
Yeah.
Yes. The worst. Such an underappreciated moment.
And he's like, he admits that he should have just told her that she was the magic, but he wanted to inspire her. And she's like, Artie, I won't be dancing for the team or the crowd. I'll be dancing for you.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Precious Brittany. You really shouldn't give him that much, anything.
Yeah, we love Brittany way more than we love Artie.
Artie I'm gonna say some very mean things, but I don't want to be mean. So, know that you're on my blacklist, Artie.
Artie was decent in this episode.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad, actually.
Yeah.
Keep it up. Maybe you'll move a spot or two down.
So threatening. Oh my gosh, our cat, Alyssa's cat, Suki, is letting me pet her, and I'm in heaven.
Suki.
I think it's hilarious every time you mention Suki, you say our cat and then correct yourself to Alyssa's cat. It's great.
Because she is your cat.
Yes, I know. Thanks.
Plot twist.
I mean, you're like an adopted parent. So I guess she's kind of your cat, plural.
Yeah, we're in each other's lives.
True.
Yeah.
True.
That's a good way to put it.
You take care of her when I go on vacation.
Mm-hmm.
You're like the fun uncle.
Yeah.
Or the babysitter. Which one?
I like fun uncle.
But if you're the babysitter, then you get paid.
I'm a fun uncle.
Okay.
But he probably doesn't get paid, so he really is a fun uncle.
Yeah.
I mean, it also depends on how many siblings you have, because if you were a sibling babysitter, you would not be getting paid.
True. So they perform at sectionals. 3 teams perform. First is the hipsters, which is like an older group getting their GEDs, and they perform the living years.
So good.
Amazing choice of song. It was quite the spectacle.
It was so fun.
When I first figured out what they were singing, I was like, "Oh my god, that's perfect."
I love them.
Would you have voted for the hipsters?
Oh, 100%. At their age,
Yeah.
the moves that they were doing, very, very good.
They were cute.
They were adorable, and I want to see more of them.
Good to know. They were cute. Next is the Warblers, which they performed Train's Soul Sister, which is a fun number.
I was singing along the whole time.
Yeah, and we'll talk about this more when we get to Kurt's storyline. And then the New Directions go on and they perform Time of My Life from Dirty Dancing. Quinn and Sam sing that. And then they perform Amy Winehouse's Valerie. Santana sings while Brittany and Mike dance. It is a bop.
Yeah.
It was so fun to watch them dance.
Yeah.
They were so good.
Yeah. I love when they feature the dance ones because, like, the people that play them are actually really good dancers, so it's, like, really good dancing.
Yeah. Well, this is kind of the first time that they've done that. Is that accurate?
Yeah, really featured them, yeah.
Yeah. It was so cool to watch. They have amazing moves, and Mike and Brittany are just, like, they're really, really good.
Yeah.
And the performance ends, ultimately is resolved in a tie between the Warblers and the New Directions.
Which I was like, okay, really? I guess, okay, so first they lose, then they tie. What's going to be next season? They win? Is that, I don't know. Nobody, spoil it, but, like, they're literally going through every single outcome except for winning.
Well, how else are they going to keep Kurt in the storyline if only one team wins?
I was confused about how he could go to a different school and still be in the storyline, so it's all very
just
new to
too
me.
late.
I know. I'm excited to see how this is going to pan out.
I have Hamilton now in my head, like, just you wait, Alexander Hamilton.
Yeah. We thought it was unfair that they tied and that the hipsters still had to be third place. Shouldn't they be second place then?
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
I know.
And also, why did the New Directions get to take the trophy? And then, yeah, I don't know. They just took the trophy
Probably
and are...
Because the New Directions actually have, like, a director, whereas the Warblers just kind of, like, do their own thing. And Will was probably like, "Meh, give me the trophy. I'm an adult."
I was thinking the Warblers were probably just like
the one that
nicer.
took it.
Yeah.
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 That's valid.
That if you tie, it is my opinion that someone should break the trophy in half, and then one team can get half a trophy, and the other team can get half a trophy.
That would be fun. Just get a chainsaw. It would
be amazing, because a chainsaw or a katana.
Ooh, that'd be tricky.
I think a katana. Yeah, you would have to have, just in case, you would have to have someone who was a master at kendo at every competition.
Just pull a Mean Girls, break the crown in several pieces, and give it to everybody. That's Mean Girls, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so they come back winners, or tires. Win tires. And... Will brings in the trophy to Emma and shows her, and she's like, "Oh, I want to tell you about my weekend." And he's like, "Oh, I don't really want to hear all the details." And she's like, "Carl took me to Vegas." And he's like, "Why are you telling me this?" And then she shows him her wedding ring, and he's like, "Is that engagement ring?" She's like, "It's actually a wedding ring. Carl and I got married while we were in Vegas." And he's like, "Oh, I'm happy for you. Let's leave it at that." And he like sulks off.
He's such an idiot.
Such a sore loser. Like,
yes.
Yes.
Oh, okay, but I'm just gonna, like, I have some complaints.
Would you like to
Emma
file them
says-
with HR, or would you just like to air them publicly?
I'm going to air them publicly.
Okay.
This is a public show. Emma says, "Oh, congratulations, I heard you won," or something along those lines. And I was so mad. I was like, they didn't win!
Oh, I did
they
the same
tied!
thing. I, like, while
They
you watched
tied!
it, I was like, no, you didn't win, you liar. No.
Yes, and I was so mad, and I was like, tying isn't the same as winning. Anyone who thinks it is a loser.
okay.
Allyssa.
Do you plan on running for as a Republican presidential candidate or something?
No, senator.
What were your other complaints?
That was it.
That was the main. That was the main complaint. Yeah. So then he brings the trophy into the choir room and is all like, "We did this all by being together. We've had a rough week. I'm glad we're all together." And Santana is all like, "Oh, we heard about Mrs. Pillsbury marrying the hottest dentist alive." And he's like, "Let's not talk about that. I'm just glad we have regionals and nationals to focus on." And he's like, "Let's sing a song." And he offers to give Rachel a solo. And she's like, "No, like, let's give it to this week's unsung heroes, Mercedes and Tina." And they sing Florence and the Machines, "The Dog Days Are Over."
Yeah.
It was amazing. I loved
That was
it.
very good.
Such a good song. And they had dancing.
Yeah, everyone just kind of runs around and like...
It was very, like, high energy, the whole thing.
Yeah, they're all just like happy to be together.
Mm-hmm.
It was cute.
The very beginning of the number with all of the rest of the Glee Club behind the stage with the hands was so precious and so silly.
It was. They're like clapping along and you just see their hands. Yeah.
I do appreciate
and then they
that
climb up.
Yeah. I appreciate that number. I mean, obviously it was choreographed, but it didn't feel choreographed. It definitely felt like a bunch of high school kids just doing whatever the hell they want, which was really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like wild.
Wild and free.
Like horses.
Yep. It was just like horses.
Yep. Bunch of horses so majestic on stage singing pop tunes.
I come up with the best analogies. Very good at this.
And so that's really the A plot, the sectionals plot that carries us through like the whole episode. Then the other plots are like Kurt and Rachel and Finn. So let's talk about Kurt He's now at Dalton Academy, and he joins their glee club. He's a warbler now. Wears uniforms. Yeah, it's he's part of a new environment, and he feels much safer and happier, which I'm happy for Kurt.
Mm-hmm.
And he wants to sing. He wants to give the warblers advice on like what to do at sectionals, and he says they should do Rio by Duran Duran. And they're like, no, thank you. The council will decide, because they have a council of upperclassmen instead of a coach. And Kurt is given a baby bird, or a canary of a long line of warblers to take care of, because every new warbler takes care of this canary.
Well, I was confused as to why they didn't have a warbler that they were supposed to take care of.
Is that a kind of bird?
Yeah.
Warblers
are they
probably
songbirds,
more
though?
expensive than canaries.
Maybe they're not allowed to be pets.
Maybe the crops department couldn't get a warbler.
Yeah, that might be true. Yeah, see, they even kind of look like canaries. They're like little yellow birds.
Oh, warbler French, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I think they could have gotten a canary and called it warbler, and I would have been okay with that.
Yeah, so Kurt is given his a chance to take care of the warbler, and he feels a little like Blaine is like, "How are you? You seemed a little upset," and he's like, "Oh no, it's just a different energy in there, not good or bad, just different. I'll have to get used to it." So Kurt's really handling it like a champ, and Blaine is like, "Don't worry, we'd like a good attitude, and we'd like to offer you to audition for sectionals." So Kurt waits for Karofsky to go to McDonald's, and then goes into McKinley to find Rachel and ask for help preparing a solo for sectionals. And he was gonna try Celine Dion's "My Heart Will Go On."
Well, I mean, always a gem, but maybe not the shiniest you could have at a audition.
Yeah.
I'm really great with the analogies today.
It's like a horse made out of a gem.
Yes.
The gem horse.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what I was going for.
And Rachel is like, "Oh, I think you should sing a song more personal. Do you ever fantasize about your own death?"
Yep.
Do you ever fantasize about your own death, people here?
I'm gonna say I've thought about it before, but never like imagined what my funeral was gonna be like.
I guess it's fantasize is the right word.
Yeah. This is gonna sound really sad, but I've always wondered how long it would take for people to notice I was dead.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no, that's fair. It's valid.
Yeah. Yeah.
All the more reason to live with somebody else.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I don't think it's the same thing as what Rachel does.
No, I definitely haven't. And I feel like it's definitely, that question is tapping into Sarah's darkest imaginations.
Yeah, I don't fantasize about what my funeral will be. I more stay up for hours on end at night fearing my impending doom. But that's not the same thing.
Not quite, yeah.
No. I definitely don't sing "Don't Cry for Me, Argentina" when I think about it.
Now I'm just imagining you sitting in your room, like, alone, like, just, like, singing, like, crying, like, "Don't cry for me, Argentina." Like,
I'll try that next time. Maybe it'll make me feel better.
Yes. Yeah. Just think of Rachel.
Yeah.
Oh, so much.
She's gonna have every major life and death event planned out.
Yes.
She does. I have thought about my own funeral and my own death.
Okay.
Yeah.
What would your funeral be?
Sad.
Really? All right.
I creative.
All right, when your
I'm
funeral
going to
comes
subvert
up,
your expectations and bring a tambourine and
I'll
Damn.
lift everybody's spirits.
I'll be the sad police for you. Everybody who smiles, they'll get a little whack on the hand. No, Cullen wants you to be sad.
It's a sad day. But yeah, not quite to the extremes of Rachel imagining it as like a revenge fantasy for people never appreciated me, and now they're gonna appreciate me if I die.
But I mean, if she has a document somewhere saying exactly what she wants for her funeral, that's actually really helpful. That is a good thing.
Yeah, everybody should have one of those, honestly. So, like, good on her for, like, planning in advance.
Too bad it's out of revenge anger.
I mean, but revenge anger.
I mean,
planning.
but even you can still. It's still a plan that's going to help out family members and whatnot.
Very true. Although, Don't Cry for Me, Argentina, the energy of that song does not match the energy of Revenge Funeral.
No, it doesn't.
Because everyone did love her and appreciate Evita, or Eva Perón. And she's like, no, stop it. It's the exact opposite of what Rachel wants.
Yeah, but I could also see it as just being like her trying to guilt people into feeling bad.
Okay, here's my question. If she's dead, who do you think she wants to sing it?
Kurt.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
But did she want him to sing it before she taught him the song? Or after he did the audition? And she was like, yeah,
honestly,
he'd be good at this.
She probably just has a recording of herself singing it.
Oh,
yeah.
Yep.
No, that's so true. She probably does.
And then they would play her recording. Or like a video. So you have to stare into her eyes.
It would probably be a video.
She has some sort of recording.
She probably recorded that session of her singing it.
She's like, Kurt, let me just set up this camera. Yeah. So, because she's like, I'll give you some pointers, considering it may be my only chance to sing for a while. And she sings Don't Cry For Me, Argentina. And then we cut to Kurt singing it in his audition for the Warblers. And as he's singing, he's like putting his hands up, and it cuts to Blaine being like, no.
Bad choice.
Don't do it. And it cuts in between Rachel and Kurt.
Yeah, they're both
the whole time.
They're both duetting it, a la when they did Defying Gravity.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that they had just stayed on Kurt, because I feel like this was his moment, even though it's Rachel's song, I guess, that she gave him. I wasn't really invested in her singing at that moment.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was definitely Kurt's moment.
It would have been nice, like, if they had cut, like, obviously she started it and then they just cut to Kurt. Because, like, literally during the song, Sarah was like, why are we seeing Rachel on a balcony? What?
Yeah.
Yeah, see the audition.
It felt very strange. Like, why are we watching her?
I guess, how else are we going to have beautiful harmonies between the two if we don't cut back and forth?
I still, I know the difference between Kurt's voice and Rachel's voice by this point, so they could have kept her going, even though it wouldn't have made sense, but hey.
I would like to be in that audition room while Kurt was singing, because he definitely took the harmony line for part of that duet, which is very strange
for a
solo.
That is very, very true. I didn't even notice that.
Yeah. Because she hit, like, the end high note, and he hit, like, a mid-tone.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably
even though he probably
didn't get it.
Well, he didn't hit the high note. We all know Kurt can hit high notes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was an awkward choice, though, for an audition.
Yeah, so he is then waiting outside with two other guys, and they're like, how many times have you auditioned for a solo? And they're like, 3 times, 6 times. And he's like, ooh. And then Blaine walks out, and he summons the 2 other guys for, like, a callback. And Kurt's like, oh, like, what's your advice? And he's like, don't try so hard. And he's like, I didn't know caring was frowned upon. And Blaine's like, you gotta blend in more. Like, we all wear uniforms. It's different from your old school. And all I could think of was Phoebe in Magic School Bus. Like, at my old school.
Yes.
Well, I mean, has Kurt ever switched schools before?
I don't think so.
He went about it way differently than I did. I switched schools a lot, and his approach is like to stand out because he's Kurt.
Yeah.
My approach is to observe and seamlessly integrate. That's how you do it, kids.
Yeah.
That is the more effective route.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kurt wants to get noticed, and Blaine is like, you'll never make it as a warbler if all you want to do is get noticed.
Which, I mean, he's got a point.
He does, yeah.
Yeah, the warblers definitely seem like a healthier group of individuals.
Yeah, I'm gonna say yes to that.
A little less toxic.
Yeah.
By Britney Spears.
Maybe further on in this show there's more drama. There has to be. How else are you going to continue a show? But like for now, it's just like, oh yes, we all sit in this conference room and are peaceably deciding on how our set is going to go.
Yeah, they have a lot more structure and organization, and they audition for solos instead of just like, so-and-so's getting one this time.
Mm-hmm. I felt so connected to the two guys who were like, oh, we got solos after trying so many times. I was like, good for you!
Yeah.
I can't wait to see them!
Yes.
And then they never happened.
Yep.
Then just Blaine sings as usual.
Yes, and I was like, I thought the other two guys got solos. What's happening here?
Well, we didn't get to see that number.
That we had seen that. Yeah, I wish we'd seen their solos.
Yeah.
I'm very glad that Kurt did not get the solo. I thought that's the direction they were going, and I'm glad they didn't go that direction. Very happy.
Yeah. They didn't go that new direction.
Oh dear.
Nice.
Do we have more wine for that pun?
I'm thinking that I'm going to pour the rest of the wine down the drain. Because that was rough. It was a rough ride to get to the bottom of my glass.
It's okay. You can do that.
Yeah. So then they're at sectionals, and Rachel is like yelling at the guy at the counter, like, I don't care if you have to go to 7-Eleven to get them. Where's Raisinets? And Kurt's like, pre-performance munchies, and she's like, oh, Puck got Lauren Zizes to take your place, and she won't go on unless she gets her damn candy. And which, that's a lot to unpack, but yes. I don't know if I want to.
We can talk about the fact that it's Raisinets. That, like, wannabe candy.
Of all the candies.
Fake candy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But, I mean, I guess we didn't really talk about this, but she psychs herself up before the performance because she's a wrestler, and it was amazing, and I was like, I want to see her wrestling.
Yeah.
I am now invested in her wrestling story.
Right, like, I don't
care about anything else.
Yeah.
But raisins maybe have protein? Did they have protein?
I don't think so.
Did they have anything nutritious?
I mean, I guess they're more nutritious than just straight up, like, Skittles.
So, slightly more nutritious for wrestling. Kind of makes sense.
And Puck is like, oh, you don't have to be nervous when she's prepping, because he's like, I got your back. And she's like, oh, I'm not nervous because show choir is stupid.
Yep. Yup.
Yeah. And so Rachel and Kurt are like chatting, and he's like, how come you were never this? Because he's like, I didn't get the solo. And she's like, damn, that must mean you guys are really good. This is going to be a really rough competition. And then she's like, oh, sorry, what I meant to say was, I'm sorry you didn't get a solo. I'm sure you were amazing. And Kurt's like, how come you were never this nice to me when we were in the same school? And she's like, because you were my biggest competition.
Which is on point.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that.
Yeah.
But she says it all cute and laughingly, and so they're all like, ha ha ha, we're friends now. And she's like, do you miss us? He's like, yeah. But he's like, I feel bad, like I ditched you guys. And she's like, you shouldn't, it's your own safety. Karofsky was threatening you. And it's actually this really cute scene between the two of them.
Yeah.
And Kurt asks her how Finn is, and she's all like, "Oh, I haven't talked to Finn because I found out he was romantically involved with Santana." And he's like, "Oh, you didn't know that?"
Yeah.
And this is when she finds out that everybody else knew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the Soul Sister happens, and it's also cute because Kurt looks really nervous, and he looks into the audience, and Rachel's like, "Smile."
Yeah.
And then he smiles. It's a fun number.
It sounded good. They are not super great at performing. They have like 0 dance skills.
Yeah.
They're a stool choir, as Shu said.
Yeah. I feel like they have the chops to actually learn how to dance, but they probably don't put that much effort into it.
I mean, Kurt's got a way to go.
Well, it's never been Kurt's strong suit.
No.
He mostly just does the thing with his hands where he lifts them up when he's doing a really high note.
I mean, that's what you do. That's show choir from what I know.
That's showbiz, baby. And so they perform Soul Sister, and then we after regionals, Kurt is worried about Pavarotti, which is the canary, not the warbler. They call it a warbler, but it is a canary.
Yes, it's a canary, even though it should be a warbler.
Maybe its name is Warbler.
No, its name is Pavarotti.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, you're right.
So Kurt is worried that he's sitting still, and Blaine is like, "Oh, he's probably just molting." So they're having a cute little bonding moment.
Yeah, Blaine's all like, "Calm down. You're adorable when you're anxious, but no."
Yeah, so that's Kurt's storyline. Do we have any more comments about Kurt?
No.
It was nice. I mean, it's been a while since I've watched any Glee, but it was nice to see him not, like, feeling like he needed to fight for his life. Not necessarily, like, against, like, bullies, but just in general. Like, it felt like he was constantly fighting for, like, something.
Yeah, and that's like half the reason I think he tried so hard in his audition.
Yeah.
It's almost like he is so used to fighting that he didn't know how to put his guard down.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to see Kurt happy and in a safe place.
Yes.
We just have one storyline left. Rachel and Finn.
Oh boy.
So, yeah, this is a fun one to unpack. So Rachel finds out from Santana that Santana and Finn slept together. And so she takes Finn to a counseling session with Miss Pillsbury because she said that one of her dads went to couples counseling after one of them put up wallpaper in the living room without telling the other. Which honestly, that would be pretty annoying.
Oh yeah. Can you imagine coming home and your wallpaper being a different... Well, first of all, having wallpaper.
Right.
I freaking hate wallpaper. I can't believe you put up wallpaper without me knowing.
Yeah.
And yeah, that could break a marriage for sure. Wallpaper sucks.
Yeah.
Alyssa's opinions for this episode. Wallpaper sucks, and Harry Potter is okay.
So she brings she brings Finn into couples counseling, and Emma's like, "Well, I'm not a therapist, but like, let's talk about this." And Finn is like, "You don't." She's like, "Why with her?" Or Rachel's like, "Why with her? I would have understood with Quinn." And he's like, "We weren't together. Like, it's not a big deal." And it's like, "Is it because she's prettier than me?" And Emma's like, "Don't answer that." And he's like, "Why do you care about the Santana of it all?" And it's like, "Is it because she's hot?" And Rachel's like, "It's because she's hot." And Finn's like, "Yeah, sure, she's super hot."
And Emma's like, "Oh no."
And Rachel's like, "As a therapist, is it okay? Is it productive if I slap him right now?" And she's like, "I'm not a therapist, but no, but maybe you could storm out." And so Rachel storms out. Yeah, poor stupid Finn.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
He lied.
He's dealing with Rachel, but he did lie, and he also called another girl hot, which is, come on, you can't be that dumb.
I think he is that dumb.
But come on.
I guess in high school, you can't, like, that's a bit more taboo of, like, calling somebody else attractive. But, like, in my adult life, it seems like everyone's just like, ooh, that person's attractive. What do you think?
No,
much bigger. Well, I mean, yeah, but as a high schooler, definitely no.
Well, she's already mad. Like, that's the main thing.
Yeah, that was a mistake.
Yeah.
He does have a point, though, that it's literally just because it was Santana.
Yeah. Also, why are they talking to... Why? I would never talk to a school counselor about these issues, ever. I want to know what happened in their childhood and their development that made them so open with teachers. Just want to know.
They were written by terrible writers. That's what happened.
Okay. It's very deep.
I mean, not, like, terrible at this point. I don't know what else they've written so far. Maybe the rest of their work has since graduated to mediocre.
Oh boy. Shots fired.
I don't even know their names. I'm a terrible person.
You're not a terrible person. I don't think they're terrible writers either.
No.
I think we can relax.
They were writing for.
Yeah. It's like they wrote them to talk to teachers just so they could include the teacher characters. But you're right that like what couple would go to a guidance counselor for couples therapy?
Never.
I mean, if anybody, it would make sense for it to be Rachel.
That's true.
Yeah. Because she's just extra in every way.
Yeah.
Although I feel like they would not hesitate to send another couple there.
Glee? Yeah.
Yeah, Glee wouldn't hesitate to send, I don't know, Tina and Mike.
They do talk about going to Asian couples therapy.
Yes. If there was an Asian counselor in the school, that's where they would be.
Yep. Yeah, unfortunately, that's how Glee works. So, meanwhile, you see, like, Santana, like, making winky faces at Finn and saying to Rachel, oh, did I tell you that he bought me dinner afterwards? And then Puck approaches Rachel, still in the same clothes as from his porta potty experience, and is like, yeah. And she's like, why are you talking to me? Are you going to steal something from me? And he's like, oh, no, I prayed while I was in the porta potty for God to let me out. And I said it'd be nicer. But then I realized that was too hard for me. So I said it'd just be nicer to Jews. And so he's nicer to Rachel. And she's like, he's like, boyfriend troubles? That's my thing, considering I'm usually the cause of them. And then they walk off arm in arm. And she's like, oh, your muscles are bigger. Are you working out? He's like, oh, it's the steroids.
Yep. So many controversial things that are just said. Like, it's no big deal.
Yep. There you go. That's Glee.
And seeing as this is, like, the only episode that I've seen in its entirety, I didn't know if that was a joke.
I don't think that one was.
I mean, I think the steroids thing was, like, it's supposed to be funny. Like, you know, how... You know, almost like physical humor, where the line is slapping you in the face.
Well, it didn't work.
Well,
yeah.
They should have led with the steroids line than the Jews line, because that they just the stark slap in the face of nicer to Jews just kind of really took the breath out of me, and then everything else was just like...
Wait, did you know Puck is a Jew?
I don't think she does.
No.
So him and Rachel.
It makes more sense if you watched, like, the first season, because he and Rachel had a thing.
Because they're both Jewish.
Because they're both Jewish.
It's still so blatant, though. It was just like, I'm gonna be nicer to Jews. Haha, steroids. What?
That's a good way to describe the experience of watching a Glee episode.
Yeah, I would say. And this is even one of the better episodes. Silence from the spectators.
Oh. Yep. There was a lot of just staring at the screen. Blinking.
Wait, did that just happen? Yes. Yes, it did.
Go ahead.
So during right before sectionals, Rachel finds out, wait, you guys knew? And Mercedes is like, yeah, I told Kurt. I found out from Puck. Quinn's like, I found out from Brittany. And Tina's like, I think I found out from Artie or something. And they're like, oh, so you all knew? And you didn't tell me? And Santana's like, yeah, because we all just pretend to like you and you're a blabbermouth. And Finn's like, we weren't even together. You only care because it was Santana. And Rachel's like, I'm not going on with him. And that's when Shu comes out and gives his like inspirational speech. So things are in a pretty rough place for Finchel, but it cuts to after sectionals.
Wait, I have a question.
Yeah.
When Finn is saying, you only care because it's Santana, is there any backup from any previous episodes where we know there's a thing between Rachel and Santana because she's jealous of Santana's body image? Or are we supposed to just get that this episode?
Santana and Rachel never liked each other. And we should have Santana being jealous of Rachel at Bert and Carol's wedding.
Right, but there's no evidence of Rachel being jealous of Santana until now.
Yeah, there's more evidence of her being jealous of Quinn.
Yeah, yep, okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to confirm that this scene makes no sense.
Yeah, I think part of it is because Rachel probably assumed it would be Quinn, and like, well, that would suck. At least like they had dated versus just...
I think she says that at one point, doesn't she?
She
when
does,
they're fighting with Finn. I would understand if it was Quinn, but Santana. And I don't really understand her distress that it's Santana.
Probably just because Santana's the actual meanest one.
Probably,
Maybe.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a whole lot of weight put on the fact that Santana is prettier than her.
Yeah.
Because
Which
that's
I
what's
don't
important about a person.
Yeah, I don't even know if that's true. Like, you know, like everyone has their own version of beauty anyway, but we're too advanced for Glee.
Yeah, and so after sectionals, Rachel is talking to Finn, and she's like, I told Mr. Schuster when this started that being part of something special makes you special, and I think I forgot that along the way. And Finn's like, are we part of something special? And Rachel's like, yeah. And then he's like, let's be honest with each other. And Rachel's like, okay, then I have to tell you. And she says that she cheated on him. She like made out with Puck because she was so mad at him and she wanted him to feel the way she felt. And then Finn is like, what? He's like, I knew you were a lot of things and I loved you because of and in spite of them, but I didn't know you were mean. And then he's like, she's like, we should go to couples counseling. And he's like, you can't go to couples counseling if you're not a couple. Like,
Burn.
Yeah. And so she's like, you said you never break up with me. And he's like, I thought you never make me feel this way. Because he's like, I'm sensitive to this after Quinn. And so Finchel is no more.
They are officially broken up.
So dramatic.
It was.
How do you feel?
Just, my life is shattered now.
Wow.
Love is dead.
I feel like springtime.
Because
Rachel deserved
April.
it.
Oh, it's April.
It's May.
Because it's May.
Who said Rachel deserves it?
Me. It's Ellen. I said it.
Ellen. Yeah.
Yes.
Which, you're not wrong. Like, she...
That was a bad thing that she did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Finally, Finn realizes her for what she truly is. No follow-up.
No. Well, just because I know that it's just the end of the beginning. It's just gonna be cyclical. Thank you, Tumblr, for telling me things.
Don't tell Alissa.
And this is why I'm not on Tumblr.
Oh.
Don't tell me.
No, I won't tell you, but I mean, they're both in the cast for the entire run of the show.
Yeah, I can guess. Like, it's not a big surprise. But they're so toxic.
Yeah.
But they're so cute.
Toxic and cute. Like a little baby spider.
Aw.
Yeah. I do kind of like them, but I do also think they're toxic depending on the episode. I think it just varies.
Yeah.
And this was definitely a toxic episode.
Can we call their relationship, instead of Finchel, can we name it the baby spider?
You can call it whatever you want.
Okay. I'm going to call it the baby spider now. Forever.
You're gonna forget, probably.
Oh, no. No.
We're gonna talk about the baby spider, and you're gonna be like, what the hell are you talking about?
I hope not.
So the baby spider is no more. They share longing looks at each other.
Now I can only think of the baby spider being squished.
It's been squashed. They share longing looks at each other during the Florence and the Machine song. They're like looks of sadness and avoidance. And yeah, so they're broken up. And so that is the end of the Rachel and Finn plot. Any comments on them?
I just want to see more of the other characters.
Yeah.
I feel that
there were so many like moments in this episode, and I'm sure throughout other episodes as well, like the other characters had some like the beginnings of like a really good plot line, and it's like back to the Finn and Rachel show.
Yup.
So, Gleeboot question, would you include this whole storyline that led to the breakup of the Santana thing and the cheating?
With Puck, you mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if I'd have her cheat with Puck. It feels on par for Rachel to cheat like that. She's talking about a revenge funeral, so...
Yeah.
She is a very vengeful person. I mean, I think it makes sense because, like, obviously Rachel had to find out at some point.
I don't know if I'd have it all happen in one episode. It might stretch it out a bit.
Interesting.
But I think I would keep it. Not necessarily, like, the same way in the same structure.
Yeah, I would agree.
Rachel has enough of a mean streak. It might be, I don't know, like Finn realizing that she's a mean person finally happens. I don't know why he didn't realize this before.
Yeah.
But now that it happened to him,
yeah,
I think he got it. He got it. Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree that stretching out like the relationship issues and the breakup over a few more episodes would have been a little bit more enjoyable, because in this episode alone you have 3 couples that have almost broken up, and then 2 of them resolve their issues because there wasn't an issue, which is fine, but like there's a lot happening, and it would have been nice to have some of that tension continue on into the next episode rather than it resolving in them breaking up. Even though it's like still tension, it's more of a resolution than like them fighting to carry you into the next thing.
Cliffhangers.
Yeah. No, I think that's a good idea. I would include that they break up a couple times just so because you can't have a relationship that's static for too long on TV.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of him realizing her flaws and that, but I think I would try and have it so that she has to learn to maybe not be a mean person, because and he has to learn something too before they can get back together.
Yeah.
Well, they're not back together. That's not what you asked.
I know. I'm just thinking about the storyline. But yeah, I think I would include this breakup. I'm not sure if I would include the breakup for the same reasons, but something along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the breakup because of the cheating, like, is a justifiable reason where it's just like, oh, you cheated on me, therefore we break up, rather than like realizing that like you're really mean to me and you're not beneficial to have in my life.
Yeah, it's like a surface thing.
Yeah.
Like we're not getting too deep into the characters and what they want, you know, like from themselves and from each other. It's just like oh, you cheated. I guess we're done.
Yeah, that's a very black and white reason to break up rather than like your jealousy is causing me to have anxiety, or like something.
Too much for Glee.
Well, I
But this is the Gleeboot.
Yes.
We can make that
That's
a thing.
Yes, we can do what we want.
Yeah. All right. I think it's Tina time. Tina had...
She had a lot this episode, right?
Yeah, she had
37?
13. In parentheses.
I can't read your handwriting.
37 and 13 are very different.
Because I put parentheses around it, and so I think she thought the parentheses was 037.
Yes, which I was confused about why you had 3 digits and one of them was 0. But hey.
Yes.
It looks like 37.
She had 13 lines.
Approximately. There was one scene where she was talking really fast and I lost count.
I recounted today.
Okay,
This
good.
doesn't
So it's
include
officially
like
13.
the song, right? Because she actually sang in this one, right?
That is correct.
Okay.
We don't include her solos.
Yeah, but she did get one.
She did, and she was amazing.
Yeah.
She actually had a pretty big part in this episode.
She did.
Comparatively.
Which is why she had so many lines in the double digits.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great for her.
It's plenty of Tina time to go around this week.
Mm-hmm.
Including that beautiful line of Asian kisses.
I think that was Mike Chang's
one of
only
those
line.
Yeah, one of those lines was Asian kiss? ?
Oh.
Asian.
Okay.
Yeah. Glee walked so Crazy Rich Asians could run. Just kidding. That's false.
Although I do appreciate that the Asian kiss wasn't like something other than just like a normal kiss. Because that would have been like real cringe.
Yeah.
That's not going to be in the Gleeboot.
No.
Asian kiss? No.
No.
No, thank you. So now it's time to talk about our favorite and least favorite characters of the week. So, Ellen, who is your least valuable player?
Probably. I don't know if this counts, but like Sam, he like obviously he sang with Quinn in that one part, but basically he just sort of like arm candy his way through this episode.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate. And it totally counts. You can choose anyone.
He had one line, and it was like, "You look really beautiful" to Quinn.
Yeah.
I just want to say, though, their chemistry on stage, amazing. Their chemistry anytime is amazing.
They have great chemistry.
They do. They go so well together.
Yeah. Sarah, do you have a least valuable player?
That's a hard thing to pick.
Do you know all their names?
No, I don't. So I'm looking at
It's
the
okay if you're just like...
You can describe them and we can tell you. Or, like, tell us what scene they're in.
Is it Lauren? Because you were offended.
Well, I was gonna say Lauren just because, like, she didn't do anything, and there was no reason for her to be there other than to fill a slot. I don't know. It was like a weird choice. Be like, oh yeah, let's put a funny fat character on the screen because diversity. And
but
then,
only make her eat.
Yeah, and only have her, like, eating, and then just have one witty line. So it's not like that she wasn't important, it's just I don't think they needed her at all.
Yeah.
So I guess that would be my pick.
Alyssa?
I'm gonna go with Rachel because she made some really selfish decisions and she was super annoying. And she was really mean.
Yeah, I'm going with Rachel too. I really liked her scenes with Kurt. I thought those were really cute, and I like that little friendship that's blossoming. But I thought she was really mean and annoying, and just self-centered, and just not a team player at all. And she sabotaged her own relationship, which was like the best thing in her life. Like, she just destroyed it.
Sarah, you have a really good point though, where Lauren was just like not a useful character.
Yeah, as far as like being a team player, you're right, Rachel. I would choose that as like the least valuable, but like I don't know. I'm never a big fan of when a show just shoves a character into an episode because reasons that aren't good.
Yeah. And how she's always eating candy and stuff. It's a little insensitive.
I mean, that is Glee.
But, I mean, Glee did open up doors to having diversity where they could.
Be on screen, I guess.
Yeah. So, at least, I do understand that, like, having, like, a character in a wheelchair, or an overweight character, or a gay character, like, during the time this was airing, like, they had to use stereotypes in order for people to be okay with it. But still, like, no matter who the Lauren character was, whether it was, like, another cheerleader, it was definitely a throwaway role.
Yeah.
Will she stay in the Glee Club? To be... Determined next week.
So, who are y'all's most valuable players? Like, your favorite character this week? Mine was Kurt.
Oh, yeah.
I really liked Kurt's storyline. I thought he was really cute when he was like, when Rachel was telling him to smile and he was all nervous with his audition. Yeah, I was really proud of him. I think he's growing a lot. So, yeah, Kurt.
I'm going to go with Brittany. First of all, she's super adorable, as always, when she's paralyzed with fear, because she's going to let everyone down.
Yeah.
And she ends up being totally amazing. She's such a good dancer. She dances with Mike. She does her best. And she does it, like, for Artie, which, I don't know if I agree with that necessarily, but that's just because I like Artie. No, I don't like Artie. I misspoke. But I think she did a really great job, and she was just super fun this episode.
She was really funny. There's some great Brittany lines.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I would say, I mean, I'm a little biased because obviously I literally said in this episode she's my favorite. But I agree with her being valuable because she was so scared. And she tried so hard to make like, she was working with Mike Shank a lot to try to make sure they were ready and could carry the team with the dancing. And they did so good.
She was working with him so much that Tina thought they were cheating.
Right? But she was just scared.
Exactly. Yeah. They were working so hard.
Brittany is a very good pick. I was going to go with Blaine because I think that he was like literally the support role in the show. Like he supported Kurt through his entire plot line. And he's just like such a genuinely nice guy that's just like, hey, like you're doing great. Just loosen up. Like, you're in a new school. I'm here to like help you out. Like, I just want to make sure everything's cool. And obviously, they've had interactions before, but it was really nice to like see the two of them on screen. And like Blaine is just like, hey, everything's fine now. You're good. You're safe.
Yeah.
You're good.
He is super sweet.
Sweetheart. And now Darren Criss is in like every Ryan Murphy show. So like, he worked hard in this and it paid off.
Yeah.
Do love Darren Criss, for sure.
Yeah. I haven't watched Hollywood yet, but I've heard it's really good. Darren Criss.
I don't know what that is.
It's a new Netflix show.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now it's time for our least favorite songs. You're making a face, Alyssa.
I'm trying to remember all of them.
We had The Living Years, Don't Cry For Me, Argentina, Soul Sister, Time of My Life, Valerie,
and Dog Days.
And Dog Days.
Okay. I'm going to go with Don't Cry For Me, Argentina.
Agreed.
I had never heard this song before it was performed on Glee. I did not necessarily... I wonder if it would make more sense in the context it's actually supposed to be in.
Yes, it would.
Yeah. It didn't really make sense to me in this scene. I didn't like it as an audition song. That has no bearing on whether or not Kurt was picked, I suppose. I was not one of the judges. But if it were me, I would have said, that's a terrible song. You shouldn't do that one.
I'm pretty sure...
And it's not necessarily... What?
I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure Don't Cry For Me Argentina is, like, on one of those lists of, like, never sing this to an audition because it's so tired.
Yeah, but they're in high school. They don't...
Yeah, I know, but it's just, like, both Don't Cry For Me Argentina and My Heart Will Go On are both, like, do not sing at auditions.
True.
You know what I sung at my audition? In high school? I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas.
Oh my god, that's so you.
That's amazing. Did you get it?
No, I did not. My voice broke in the last section, and I was really upset.
Aw.
Yeah, it was unfortunate. But I was in the chorus, I suppose, so whatever.
So, Ellen, you agree Don't Cry For Me Argentina was your least favorite?
Yes. I mean, it just had some weird moments, like we were saying, where Rachel was still singing, and it didn't focus as much on Kurt for the audition part. And also, I guess I agree with Alyssa that it didn't make as much sense to me because I haven't had it in its original context. So the other ones were more fun.
Please listen to Evita, please. Alyssa, go look up Evita. Ellen, listen to Evita. It's a very powerful song, but yes, you're right. It was kind of a weird section of the episode.
Sarah, what was your least favorite song?
I think I have to... I'm a little biased. I was gonna say The Time of My Life.
Yeah.
Just because, like, I've seen it other places and it's been better, but that's, like, a very, like, musical performance. But it was between that and Hey Soul Sister because, I don't know, Hey Soul Sister was, like, there was, like, this whole spiel about, like, we're in this as a team and, like, we wear uniforms because, like, we try to fit together, and then it was the Blaine show.
Yeah, that was kind of actually really disappointing. I wanted to see how they were going to work as a team, and then they didn't.
And then they just didn't.
So.
Yeah. I'm going to go with The Living Years by the Hipsters. It was fine, but it just wasn't that exciting.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
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 Now, favorite songs.
Dog Days!
Dog Days.
Dog Days.
I loved it.
It was really good.
It was so fun. And Tina and Mercedes were amazing.
Yes.
And it was just so fun to watch.
It's hard not to enjoy that song, though, anyways. It just makes you want
Yeah, I know. It's a great song.
to get stuck in your head.
I feel like, Cullen, you are not in the same boat.
I liked Dog Days, but that wasn't my pick.
Okay.
My pick was Valerie.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like a bop. It's super energetic. I like that version almost more than the original. And it's just really energetic, and Santana does have a really great voice.
She does. And
I, of course, love the dancing as well. That was amazing.
Ellen, did you say your favorite?
I mean,
Or was it Dog Days?
I was literally between Dog Days and Valerie, so I feel like they're just the best ones in the episode. Yes. I liked them both a lot.
Yeah, there were a pretty good amount of good songs in this episode.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say any of them are terrible because that has happened before.
Yeah, there were no like stinkers.
Yeah,
they were all like good to great.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm a bit disappointed that we weren't on an episode with just like a terrible song selection. So you'll have to have us back for one of those.
Mm-hmm.
Of course.
Can do, except somebody else is going to have to choose it because I have no idea the episodes ahead of us, whether or not they're good or bad song selection.
Yeah. And that kind of brings us to an end of the episode.
Dun, da, da, da.
Do you have any social medias that you'd like to plug?
Oh boy. This is a fun thing. I mean, yes. Yes, and that's how improv works. I am on Twitter and Instagram at @ThatSarahJones. Been doing a lot of art and stuff, if you want to look at that. Yes.
Nice. And can I just mention how much I love your handle, That Sarah Jones? That is her actual name, people. Sarah Jones.
Yeah, there's a lot of us.
Sarah
I'm
Jones.
That Sarah Jones, yes.
It's wonderful.
Yeah, so basically any social media, that's my handle. And that's my website. So
Nice.
Yeah, I do a lot of art. I mostly post it on Instagram, so that one is at Ellen Ruth Cornwell. A lot of digital art lately, and I post stuff on my Patreon, but that's linked in my Instagram. So,
yeah. Fabulous work. I have some of your stickers.
Yeah,
the stickers are beautiful. They're so good.
Yes. Currently on my computer. My Instagram is a.m.swearingen, which I've spelled before, but I'm going to spell it again. Yeah. SWEARINGEN, Swearing, N. There you go.
You can follow the podcast at Gleeboot Pod on Twitter and Instagram, and at gleebootpod.tumblr.com at Tumblr. And you can follow me at your boy Ryan99 on Instagram and TikTok, and your boy Ryan, YABOI Ryan, on YouTube.
That is the best handle. Yeah. How did I not know this?
Did I have a YouTube channel?
No, your boy Ryan. That's so good.
That's my YouTube persona, Ryan. Sup guys, it's your boy Ryan.
Oh my Very God. Good. I am following everything right now.
Glad to have a new fan, and please follow everybody our social medias. Hannah works really hard making some really funny posts.
Oh yeah, she totally does, and they are worth it.
Thank you so much, Sarah and Ellen, for being on. We hope you had a good time. We certainly did.
Of course.
Of course. It's great to finally be on.
Yes, finally.
Sorry it took us a while.
Yeah, thanks for being patient.
Totally fine.
Yeah, totally fine. We had fun. We hope you guys did too, and we hope the listeners had fun. Thank you so much for tuning in. Tune in next week for the Christmas episode.
Yes, so exciting.
Bye.
Bye. Gleeboot.